Okay, so the first test we're going to be doing today is going to be the less than lethal ballistics shaped ammunition called Guardian 50 caliber 3.5 gram projectiles. They are plastic encapsulated BB or smaller ball bearing. Not sure what size it is. And we're going to weigh these up just to verify what I was saying. They're 3.5. All right, we got 3.51. I don't know if you can see that or not. This lighting's washing everything out. Let's turn the overhead light off here. Yeah, 3.51 grams. Okay, there's the first one. First Guardian, another one. 3.52. 3.48, we'll call it 3.5 for testing purposes. 3.50 on the nose. Number 5, we got 3.52. 3.51. All right. Again, that's the Guardian, 3.5 gram 50 caliber shaped ammunition, which comes with a warning. Yes, it does. Warning, these projectiles are for self-defense and are potentially deadly. Terms and conditions apply to all users. All right, serious stuff here. We'll go ahead with the tests. All right, so after the problem I had a few days ago with my TR50, I ordered a new an M13 tap and die set, and I ended up today, not too long ago, just retapping the aluminum threads in here, cleaning them up. I ended up tapping them a little deeper as well, and then I reinstalled the ZRAM ASA buttstock adapter. So I feel like I got a better connection now. I mean, it's only like 3 threads on this buttstock adapter to begin with. Would have been nice if there was more, but it is what it is. But I cleaned them out, got them in there really good. I decided to, for the time being anyways, for this test, I decided to not run a CO2 in the handle. What I did was I just slapped it closed. Hopefully she stays closed and I don't bump it at all. I'll degas through there when I'm done with the testing. And I'm running a single 12 gram cartridge in the back through the unrestricted ASA adapter. So I want to see what the outcome is running just a single 12 gram right straight through the back. And again, this TR50 has had its power mods already done. Probably doesn't make a difference as far as what's in the handle, that restrictor, but it's had the valve block assembly was removed, and I believe they also changed the the firing pin in there. I think that may have been upgraded as well. So I'm gonna see what it'll do today with this setup. And now that I'm leak free, she's punctured it upstairs, leak free. It's about 60 down here in the basement. And I got another backup 12 gram in my pocket, try to keep that warm. So the first ammo that I'm going to shoot today to test this rig out is, I got some of these shaped rounds here, 50 caliber rounds from Less Lethal Ballistics. They call them the Guardian. I'm not quite sure what it's made. It looks like it's plastic. I don't know if there's anything in it. I mean, there must be something in it besides the plastic, because they do weigh out at about 3.5 grams. Okay, so kind of nice and pointy. I haven't shot, this would be the first time I've ever shot anything that's shaped out of the TR50. And the only thing that I would ever probably use shaped ammo in would be the revolver. I've seen the problems you've had, Sean. So, yeah, I ain't gonna mess with that. So, but let's see what this will do today. Um, I debated whether I wanted to put some wood up to see if there was any penetration or not. I will do that at some point. I think for today and just to make sure safety. I don't want anything bouncing back at me, especially if it's got a little point to it. So I got a preloaded magazine here. That I loaded. They weren't easy going in, but I got them to go in there, and I probably should have used one of my red magazines because I already have these stretched out for the ball bearings, and they're kind of dedicated to home defense just for the ball bearings. I should have used those, but I ended up using this at the time. So you can see I got 6 of these Guardians from Lethal Ballistics. All right, so we're going to give these a whirl and see what they do. I'm going to fire these first while I have a fresh 12 gram in the back here. This way I can also test the single 12 gram coming in through directly into the back of the valve assembly there. So we're going to put these in. Not putting any targets up. They seem to not liking how they seem to drag. Like the tip's just sticking out a little bit. You know, the tip's like just sticking out a little bit there, and it's causing some drag. Let me see if I can push these in further. I got a little more room, a little more leeway on the side that engages the whatever you would call that. But anyways, let me see if I can get these pushed down somehow. I don't know if I got anything I can use. Maybe an aluminum 68 cal ball. See if I can push these down, because that's going to give me a problem. All right, yeah, that's a little better. You can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm just pushing these until they kind of, you can hear that. Yeah, and that. All right. That one's still sticking out. I just want to make sure that these are gonna run through. I'm gonna run through here, right? Or else I ain't gonna shoot them, because I don't want them screwing the gun up. And man, it doesn't feel right. I may not be testing these today. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I gotta file the tips off of these darn things. But if they're not gonna... All right. All right, she's spinning good now. All right. I think it was just one I had hung up, pushed in too far. All right, so everything feels good there. Of course, I'm already gassed up. I should have probably tried this before I gassed up. Lessons learned here for me. All right, everything feels better though. I'm not going to stick my finger in the barrel either. But everything feels pretty comfortable. So I'm going to give this a try. We'll take some chronograph measurements as well and see how the TR50 does with 112 gram directly in here, unrestricted, into the valve assembly, and running these 3.5 gram Guardian shaped ammo. Let's see what we get. Whoa. Well, we got 340 feet per second, but I'm gonna take this out, take a look at it. I don't see anything funky with the front of the bolt. Those freaking things just self-destructed. Pretty sure I hit the archery backing material. I don't see anything other than a bunch of oil on here. A little piece of aluminum from when I retapped it, I guess. I thought I got most of that out of there, but all right, I'm not seeing any damage to the mag. I'm not seeing any damage to the barrel. This got no ammo in it now, so let me just take a quick peek. Yeah, I don't see anything going on with the barrel. But I wasn't expecting these to freaking self-destruct. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. I mean, if they're just plastic, or maybe there was a BB in there. Let's see if I can find what. Oh shit! Did I just miss the freaking target and went into the wall? Maybe. You know what? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I couldn't have missed the target that bad. I mean, I'm not the world's best freaking shot, but you know what? I found this on the floor behind here. Unless these things fly that terribly. I don't think anything hit back here. All I know is I saw pieces. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so there is like a small BB. It looks like stainless steel ball bearing. I don't have a magnet with me. I'll test it later, but yeah, whatever it hit, and I'll have to pay attention. And that was just a test fire, the first one, so I don't aim too too carefully on those. I'm more worried about my face. Yeah, so that's what you got there. I guess that's what's in there on these less lethal ballistics Guardians 3.5. I mean, I figured there must have been some kind of ball bearing or something in there because 3.5 grams. I don't think you'd get plastic that heavy. All right, so this, whatever it hit, it blew apart, and I don't think it was the backing material. So maybe it was just my aim was off, or these things do not fly true. And at less than 14 feet, I don't care what you're shooting out of this gun, it should hit the target. So it was probably just my lousy shooting here again, because I was more concerned about protecting my face. All right, well, the gun looks fine. So I'm going to proceed with testing these. And let me get it to the point where I ain't going to be shooting an empty, which that looks empty. So that was empty. The next one should be firing. All right, let's try round number 2. And hopefully I'll aim a little better. We'll see how this goes. Shot number 2. All right, I definitely hit the target. Well, the target trap. 320 feet per second on that one. 320. All right, and that one kept in there. I must have missed, and I think I hit the wood, and it just blew itself apart. All right, so that was 2. Let's try a third one, see what we get. 330. Whoa. That did not sound good. All right, 334. All right. That second shot was gas only. And I'm guessing maybe the sear didn't catch properly on when the bolt came back. That was weird. Thank goodness there was no ammo in there. That was a spent cylinder in the mag. But yeah, that thing just kind of fired on its own. All right, I am putting that back in until I am ready to put this thing downrange. I want to check this thing out. That's another piece of it. All right, so one's in the trap. Then the second shot's in the trap. It's stayed in there. I haven't retrieved it. The third one came flying out of the trap. So now I can look at it, see what it, inspect it, and it doesn't look bad to me. I mean, it looks the way it looked like when I put it in. So, but as far as reusing these, if you're shooting at anything that's hard, including wood, you're not reusing these things. No way. They just split right off. It's more like it's just the carry. It's almost more like it's those Devastator rounds where the plastic is just there to carry the ball bearing, you know, the heavier kinetic. That's what I'm guessing these things do. All right, I got 3 more left over here. I got more I could shoot, but I'm just going to shoot the last 3, and then I'm going to move on to the 12.7 millimeter ball bearings at 8.4 grams because I want to test them also in this setup. Now, I know I got a lot of pressure coming in here, a lot of volume. I don't know if that's playing a part at all on the sear resetting. I really don't know, but that was kind of weird. I've never had the gun do that before. All right. All right, so this is what I say. We had 3, so this is going to be shot number 4. We'll give it a try, see what we have here. Pardon my nervousness, but doing 2 experiments here, so. All right, we got 302 on the 4th one. That one stayed in the trap, so hopefully it's going to be recoverable. Here comes the 5th one. 274 on the 5th. 274 feet per second. And this should be my last one. 230. And it definitely didn't have the energy it had to begin with. So 3.5 grams. They're not obviously they're not as heavy as these ball bearings at 8.4, but they yeah, this weird fluke that I had with that. I don't know what to make of it with that like, I wouldn't call it an auto fire, but that auto, you know, but self fire. You know, thankfully it was this happened on a revolver. But anyways, let's load some of these ball bearings in here. 12.7 millimeter ball bearings, and let's see what we get. Of course, it would have been better if I had a fresh one in the back, but after shooting 6 of the Guardians, the shaped ammo, let's see what it does with these here. These ball bearings. I've shot these before and really didn't have the power to really get some good joules out of it. I think I ended up getting maybe 18 joules. Although they had quite a bit of kinetic energy though. All right, didn't even read. Let me try it again. Probably either it's because it's less than 100 feet per second or some other reason. Nope, probably less than 100. We're locked out here. All right, so of course when I run the numbers later upstairs in the office, when I run the numbers, my guess is those first couple shots coming out of it with the Guardians, the Sheep Charge, are probably going to turn out to be, you know, really good. Oop, I got something stuck here. All right, so it looks like she partially moved, so I'm gonna just vent this out. Keep it down range. Make it safe. Make it safe, people. You gotta be safe all the time with these things. They may not be firearms. Well, they're not. But it doesn't mean you can't get hurt or worse. Especially in a situation like this. I got a wall here, I got a wall there. This thing bounces off this wall. It's going to ricochet around here. It's going to be like a freaking shooting gallery. So I tell my boys that all the time, because one of my son's Christmas gift, I got him a Beeman BP50, and he's been shooting that. All right. Oh, there's nothing in there. What the hell am I doing? I'm so used to going in here I forget I didn't put one in there. All right, let's see if I can disconnect this without disconnecting this. Actually, let's get this out of here first. Let's do that. I only got one of those off. We ran out of gas. All right, I totally forgot I didn't have one on the handle. Now, I don't have a means of plugging this right now, so unless the CO2 cartridge would double and plug if I was to put one in here. But in any case, it's not the best puncture out of these things. Could be better. All right, let's put another CO2 in here. Actually, I don't want to do that. Again, force a habit. Let's wake up, Alan. Wake up, buddy. All right, so with these, unlike the other quick punctures, and I always forget about this too. First time I shot this setup, I totally forgot about this. I thought I had a leaky O-ring in here, and then it dawned on me, it wasn't a leaky O-ring. You have to push on these things and make sure they lock if you're not using them down there. So, all right, let's see. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna load another one in the back, just in the back. At some point, I'd like to do both, and we'll gas it up again here and see. Yeah, I didn't have a leak the first time. It's leaking out of here. All right, I guess I had to give it another lub tap. All right. That seemed to solve that. All right. These are heavy. So I don't know. I'm gonna go, instead of using this one here where I already shot one out, I'm gonna put a full magazine in here. And everything seems to work pretty good. And I'm gonna see what this does for me. Let me turn this motion light on. We'll see what it does. Let me set that trap back a little bit more, so it'll give it a little bit more deflection. All right, so these are going to be the 12.7 millimeter ball bearings, otherwise known as the home wreckers. If you buy it through them, they call them the home wrecker. 8.4 grams is the weight. I've fired these through here. Well, I fired one earlier, but I've fired them through before. They're heavy for this. We'll see what we get. We're charged up. Yeah, everything looks good. All right, let's see what we get here. 198 feet per second. 198. Now that felt super, super powerful. 198's the first shot. Let's go for shot 2. 206. Oddly enough, it's increasing in power. 206 feet per second. Shot number 3. 200. So far, some consistency, though. That's nice. 200 feet per second. Number 3. Number 4. 186. And number 5. 164. We're dropping off big time. 164. And do I have one more in here? Yes, I do. One more. 138 feet per second. 138. All right. The trigger didn't go dead yet. So, but 138, I mean, should I bother shooting one of these? If I get one off, that's gonna kill it. Totally kill it. Let me try something else, providing I still have some gas in there. Let's try some of these. These are Beeman. Some of these Beeman, little baby Beemans. 2.9 gram Beeman rubber over steel. Let's throw some of these in here, see if I can get off a mag just for fun. They feel a little loose now and there, but... Oop, yeah. Definitely not loose. There's one of my ball bearings right there. All right, that one didn't want to stay in there. Let's see. Let's see if I can persuade it. Yeah. All right, let's see what the heck I get with these. I mean, this tank is exhausted anyways. I'm sure there ain't much. You know, I'm not even going to chrono that. Not going to bother with that. We'll just see what we can get. Finish these off. Or maybe I got one shot. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, way losing power. 3, 4, 5. 5, that's it. So I couldn't even get 6 of these 2.9 grams. All right. And I got to learn not to do that and degas first when I don't shoot all 6 rounds, because that could have been a safety issue for me. Could feel the bolt try to do something. All right, we're safe now. All right. We're safe. Yeah. All right. So that's that. I just mainly wanted to test this after cleaning up the threads. I was able to use the tap on here, the M13 tap by 1, and tap into the valve block further. So couldn't really take advantage of the extra threads with this particular adapter because there's only 3 threads on it anyways, on the adapter. But if I end up moving to a different adapter, or if I end up just coming out of here with, you know, a different setup, maybe for a tank in the future, at least I got more threads in there now, so that should be helpful. So, all right, let's see. All right. Yeah, that's all degassed. So it's degassing fine through here. I just got to remember to give it a good slap because I was leaking a little bit until I hit it a second time. Not crazy how the whole adapter wants to come out when you change this, but I could probably fix that if I was to Loctite in here. But I don't want to Loctite it because I might be changing this whole setup again. Got a pretty decent puncture on that one from that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. All right, folks, I am going to go run the numbers, and then we'll see you up there in the office. Okay, back in the office to run the numbers. All right, so did a couple things today, 2 tests. First thing was to test the rear ASA adapter after I had retapped it and tapped a few more threads into the valve assembly. That seems to work pretty good. And the second test was to test this Guardian 50 caliber 3.5 gram shaped kinetics ammunition from Lethal Ballistics. Looks like it's a plastic encapsulized BB, or small ball bearing. Not sure what size it was, but so that's what we tested here today. I also did on a fresh CO2. After I did the Guardians, I also 6 of those. I also shot 6 of the home wrecker 8.4 gram, 12.7 millimeter ammunition as well. So what we had with the Guardian was the first shot we had with the Guardian was 340 feet per second. And when we do the math, it came out to almost just shy of 19 joules, 18.79. Shot number 2 was 320 feet per second of a 16.64 joules. Shot number 3 was 334 feet per second, resulting basically 18 joules. Shot number 4 was 302, almost 15 joules, 14.82 joules. And shot number 5, 274, she started dipping off quite a bit, 12 joules. And then the last shot was 230 feet per second at a whopping 8.6 joules, which is still more than the gun was shipped out from the factory rated for. This was a 7.5 joule TR50 that had the power mod done to it. And yeah, so that's what the Guardian shaped rounds were, as you saw in the actual shooting footage. We got to look inside one of these. When you shoot it into wood, it pretty much self-destructed. However, I was able to reuse the other 5 rounds that shot into the archery backing material that's in the trap, the target trap there. So overall, the Guardian, yeah, I mean I think it did pretty good. I mean, actually, we got more joules out of it than we did the heavier ball bearings, as you'll see in a moment here. You know, on the business card that comes with it, with the Guardian ammo that was sent out with it, says these projectiles are for self-defense and are potentially deadly. Terms and conditions apply to all users, and there's a warning there for it. So yeah, that's your warning. I imagine these things would be pretty nasty if somebody took one to the neck. But anyways, this is less than lethal, so we're not shooting purposely for anyone's neck around here, are we? All right, anyways, the second half of the test, I did load a new CO2, a fresh CO2 in here, and I decided to go ahead and try out the home wreckers, the ball bearings, steel ball bearings, 50 caliber, 8.4 grams. And this is with the same setup. I had a single 12 gram CO2 in the back of the ASA adapter. The first shot, I got 198 feet per second, 15.29 joules. The second shot was 206, was actually my hot shot, 206 feet per second at 16.55 joules. And then the third shot, 200 feet per second, 15 and a half joules. And then shot 4 was 186, shot 5, 164, and then ending it with 138 feet per second, shot number 6. So those last 3 shots giving us, 13 and a half, 10 and a half, and then about 7.5 joules at the end here. So that was the testing again with the single 12 gram in the rear. At some point, I'll go ahead and see how it acts, how it tests out with the a single in the rear and also one in the handle. But I was also testing and making sure that I didn't have any leaks and problems with that rear ASA, which that worked out good. The only leak I had was I was able to resolve. That was with the the Umarex quick pierce leaves much to be desired. I wish it was like the one that you have on the Pistelli and the Beeman. With those, you can turn them, until you know, they're always closed. So with this particular design, you got to hit it to close it. And as you saw in the video footage, I had to give it another love tap there to get it to play nice. So, anyways, that's the testing on New Year's Eve. It's been slow at work, so I figured, hey, I've been wanting to test this ammunition, this shaped ammunition from Less Lethal Ballistics called the Guardian, 3.5 gram. Overall, I think that ammo is pretty good. I mean, it is what it is. It's for self-defense. If you're gonna shoot it at anything solid, definitely expect to not be able to reuse them. Unless you're shooting it into your target trap material, then maybe you could reuse it. But again, the idea is you're probably not going to be looking to reuse this stuff anyways. But yeah, it definitely had some jewels to it. I mean, you just compare, it's like what? Less than half as light, 3.5 grams, and we're getting 340 feet per second, almost 19 joules out of that first shot versus the heavier 8.4 gram ball bearings, 15.29 joules. Actually, I'm sorry, the hot shot was 206, 16 and a half joules. But yeah, I mean, which one you're going to feel more than the other? Well, I mean, with a pointy shape charge ammunition, that's debatable. Is the ball bearing going to hurt more, or is the pointy, ball bearing packed ammunition, is that going to hurt more? I would say in either case, most offenders are going to probably decide to leave and leave you alone at that point if they get hit with one of these. So, I don't know. Then again, some people just don't learn, so who knows? Anyways, maybe this was entertaining. Maybe there's some lessons learned. And yes, I got to be a lot more careful with pointing, especially this particular valve now that I know this TR is known to just, for the sear to release like that. I'll have to pull it apart and inspect it. I've never had it happen before, so I'm almost wondering if maybe it could have been something to do with some foreign material in there. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't see how any shavings could have got into that area where the sear is. So maybe it did. I guess it could. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. It only did it once. Hopefully it will never do it again. But takeaway for me today, especially where I'm shooting, given it's in like a hallway type thing, surrounded by walls, sheetrock on wall on one side and concrete on the other. I need to keep that thing downrange at all times whenever there's ammunition in the gun anyways. Thankfully, when it decided to kick off by itself, there was an empty chamber at that point and there was no ammo in it, so everything was good. But just makes you think for everybody should be thinking about that stuff, that you never know, something malfunctions. You gotta protect yourself. So anyways, hopefully the lessons learned here for me. Peace out. We'll talk later.